Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was a strange touchstone to have Mr. Poopy Butthole be so sad at the end of the episode.
Oh no, that's Morty.
Oh,
I
that
was
was
doing Morty, Mr.
very
Poopy
hard
Butthole.
to tell the difference, I have to say.
Well, you know, if you're a big fan of the show, you'll know that Mr. Poopy Butthole says "ooh-wee." So
He does. This is true, and of course, you do have to have a very high IQ to really understand the nuances of Rick and Morty. It's such an intellectual show.
Yep, it's it would stump Plato.
It would. This is true.
Good. But here we are, folks, at the season finale of Rick and Morty. Season 5. It's called Rickmuri Jack, and that's, I believe, is in reference to Samurai Jack, if I'm right.
Yeah, which begs the question: why didn't they just call it Samurai Rick?
Yeah, true. That's because that would have been too obvious, Lewis.
True.
This episode was written by Jeff Loveness and Scott Marder, and was directed by Jacob Hare, and is starring Justin Roiland, Dan Harmon, Sarah Chalk, Chris Parnell, and Spencer Grammer. Do you have an opening statement?
Lots of stuff going on in this episode, and I can't help but feel like I'm in a car that's been crawling through traffic and is now smashing its way through nonsense. We'll get more into it. Have you got an opening statement?
Yes. Wow, what the fuck? The biggest game changer for the entire show, in its entire history. I tried not to say entire again, but I couldn't help it. It's been a rocky season, but these last 3 episodes, I think, have just managed to save the day.
Here's my first question then. Is it that much of a paradigm shift, really?
I think so.
Because, realistically, I do have issues with the way the episode was presented, but the thing that I essentially took from it is that now, the multiverse is sort of much more open, and Rick can travel between dimensions to dimensions where he is not the smartest person in the universe. That's sort of the central finite curve was all the universes out there where Rick was the smartest person there. Yeah. And all those Ricks formed, the Citadel and all the stories and stuff we've enjoyed so far. And by destroying that sort of the cage placed around those universes, evil Morty was able to sort of leap into other universes and do all sorts of stuff. And so, yeah, in theory, that's kind of interesting, I suppose. But it's not really that much of a paradigm shift, because in spite of the fact that, because essentially what it means is we will now have universes where there are Ricks that are stupid, but
yeah,
that means that those Ricks won't have developed interdimensional travel, so it will only be the Ricks that were smart, and therefore the Ricks that were in the central finite curve, that develop interdimensional travel and can gain access to our Rick that we follow, C-137. So it's not really that much of a paradigm shift. It's kind of just it's a self-limiting thing, despite it having a limit imposed upon it. The limit imposed upon it was the same as the limit. It's like saying the speed limit is 100 miles an hour, and the fastest you can possibly go in the car, even without a speed limit, is 100 miles an hour anyway. You see what I mean?
Well, I mean, just because Rick, the stupid Ricks of the different universes haven't developed interdimensional travel doesn't mean that there aren't beings out there that can and have already done so.
I suppose that's a good point. Yeah, that's yes, because it's a game of long odds. Of like, out there might be a guy who's not called a Rick, he's called a Rock, and he's developed interdimensional travel, and he looks a bit different to Rick, and do you know what I mean? It's because there's infinite universes with a finite set of variables. You will have it will happen at some point. You will get another version of somebody that's generated interdimensional travel and all that sort of nonsense.
Yeah,
that's a good point. And this does go on. Sorry.
And Rick now is the smartest Rick in the multiverse, because
what gives you that thought?
Well, because all the other ones are destroyed. Morty killed them all.
Yeah, I suppose he did, didn't he?
Yeah. So now Rick is literally at the top of the pile. And did you notice that his portal gun is destroyed? or is like ran out of fluid or whatever. So I don't know. Will he need to invent another one? I have no idea.
I did notice it ran out of fluid and it was sort of smoking, but then I always think sort of he made it once, surely he can do it again. Do you know what I mean? It's that from the Vindicators episode. It's my ability to do anything. Like he can make another one. You'd certainly think.
Yeah, maybe not floating on the Morty berg or whatever it's called. Maybe there might not be, but I don't see why there wouldn't be, to be honest.
But then would he? Are they going back to Earth to C-137's Earth? Are they going to live there, back with their family and stuff?
I don't know, because I think at this point, like, I really hope that some character change is finally like coming for these two, you know, and it's going to be a dynamic that's completely different to what we've seen before, but they're actually consistent with it, and they don't just drop it because Morty decides that he wants to, you know, fuck a horse machine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Morty's like so mature, and then in some episodes he can just be like, oh my god, I'm gonna, you know, you know what he did. Everyone knows what he did. Dirty pervert. But yeah, I think it's because Rick has now told his crybaby backstory, as he called it, and that's ultimately the reason Morty decided to go with Rick, because of Rick opening up to him.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll be more sort of equals, rather than just Morty being used as a human shield for stupid brainwaves.
But then the question is, because the Council of Ricks can track him using his brainwaves or whatever it might be, and that's how he was hiding, and now the Council of Ricks doesn't exist, so Morty has fulfilled his purpose, but aside from the emotional joy that Rick derives from having him there, is there really anything Morty can sort of bring to the table? Can he bring he can't bring any more sort of intelligence or cunning or anything that Rick doesn't have already, and because he's such an individualist. So will we see them wanting to stay together but struggling to find reasons to?
Maybe so, but like, I mean, it's like most sort of sci-fi companion things. It's like Rick, like the Doctor, needs someone to show stuff to, and needs someone to impress. Otherwise, you know, him just wandering about by himself, he's already done that, and it's not fulfilling in any way, shape, or form. And we now know that his entire purpose in life was to find the Rick that killed his original Beth and Diane. So maybe we'll catch up with that guy. You know, maybe he's
maybe,
or maybe not. Maybe Rick's found a new family that he can move on with.
That's a really good point that I hadn't actually considered. So our Rick is one that saw Beth and Diane die, and now he is living with Beth. So that raises the question, this can't possibly be his original Beth.
No.
That is a good question.
No, it isn't. And he didn't get to see her grow up either, so he just sort of came back and decided to live with her as you know, as an adult woman. And it's really sad when you think about it, because her original Rick just abandoned her, and this Rick, who's lost his wife and child, who never wanted anything to do with the life that all the other Ricks were sort of enjoying, is now the Rickest Rick, as they say. It's really heartbreaking. I like how they threw us off, because in the first episode of season 3, the sort of backstory that Rick uses to convince the Gromflamites that his formula is the one for portal travel.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh no, but you can alter details of a totally made up backstory," but it wasn't a made up backstory. It was real. You know what I mean? And I found that really interesting, that we were told right from season 3, and we just went, "Oh yeah, it's all fake," because, like, you know, Rick can just, you know, even when it's obvious, Rick is so in denial about his past and doesn't want to even confront. I mean, he's even annoyed about the fact that we, the audience, and Morty care enough. You know, Morty's like, oh, dead wife. And Rick's like, yeah, and everyone can shut up about it now. No, definitely.
No, you're right. I have a bit of a problem with the way the season has been presented. I know this is not anything groundbreaking, but it is frustrating that we had a season of nonsense followed by sort of 20 minutes of very intense canon development.
Yeah.
I can't help but feel that it could have been broken down a bit more and slowed down. It
I
feels very intense, like sort of an information download that someone's just forcing into my head. I can't help but feel that, well, could we have had perhaps slightly less giant incest baby and slightly more stuff that actually matters for the canon? Do you know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I mean, they dropped, let me try and think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 huge bombshells in this episode.
Yeah.
First one, Evil Morty returning. They did that so nonchalantly, whereas in the other two it was like this huge big build-up thing. Is it Evil Morty? Is it not Evil Morty? And he just sort of comes in looking like a sort of a neoliberal middle class guy who's like, oh, haha, jeez. And he's so that was. I mean, I'm okay with that, but like, because it wouldn't be a big build up to them, so I get that they're not going to be like concerned about it. But I do think it would, rather than just, oh, it's the last episode, we better do something big.
Yeah.
Let's just shoehorn Evil Morty in. I mean, it seems a bit. And the second big bombshell is when Evil Morty reveals to our Morty that basically Mortys exist because of like manipulation and sort of bringing Beth's and Jerry's together, and there's a huge sort of Morty market, and it's essentially
That's a really good point. Yeah, which I sort of. I watched that and I thought, oh well, presumably they must just have found a way to clone infinite Mortys or whatever, and I didn't really consider it. But yeah, that's a good point. That it's sort of, it is manipulation. It was that bloke that opened a portal and tapped on Jerry's shoulder, and Jerry turned around and Jerry and Beth met. So, that's a really even more intensely good point. Is that. Yeah, I hadn't. Sorry, that's sort of knocked me to 6. I didn't really realise the sort of gravity of that until just now.
Yeah.
So what does that mean then? That means that.
I guess it's just another fucked up thing, and it adds to sort of Evil Morty's motivations. But like you're saying, it's hard to sort of tell, because so much information was just dumped on you at once. Like first it was that. And then Rick was like, okay, here you go, here's my crybaby bat. And then there's a wordless sequence for like 4 minutes of, Rick going through millions of different realities, killing Ricks to try and find the one that killed his family. And, through that time he meets Bird Person and fights with him and stuff like that. And then that leads us up to how we get back to season 1. I mean, that's a lot of fucking information to deal with. But... if that wasn't enough, it's now revealed that the entire infinite universes that Rick and Morty can seemingly travel to are just
a subset of the actual number of universes.
Yeah, like Evil Morty said, it's an infinite cradle built around an infinite fucking baby, So that's just utterly smashed as well. And the thing that the episode basically ends with Evil Morty winning and Rick and Morty being trapped on the sort of detachable Mortyberg, which by the way, I really like how they renamed from Morty Town in the Rick Lantis mix-up, because it was really run down and really bad, and it was just for for Mortys that were economically less well off, and now it's been sort of revitalized. So I like
those state intervention of if the state has massive resources and intervenes in an economically run-down area, it can provide a lot of help. Oh, isn't that a funny thing?
Capitalism. But yeah. So it was such a big episode, and I don't think having it as a 20-minute thing was good enough. Like, if they had an hour-long episode, like I thought they were going to do, I reckon it could have been so much better. If they just sort of... The Two Crows story was fine. I mean, it wasn't... But this shit is more important, in my view, rather than just... I don't know, because they're going to spread themselves too thin. It's like, where do you even go from here? Like, Evil Morty's gone. Is Rick going to go after him? Is he just going to be like, no, fuck it? Like, what? I need to see some changes. I need to see some follow through from the stuff that they do. You know.
No, I know what you mean, because we are coming to realize that like there's no point. We're sort of coming to realize. I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but the way that they're writing these stories, it sort of informs a Rick-like perspective of, there's no point really getting invested in any of these characters because there's infinite numbers of infinite people. So who really gives a shit?
Yeah.
And that's... right. I'm going to leap to this episode's defense all of a sudden, despite the fact I've been ragging on it for about 15 minutes now. I like... Well... Now, I feel like, as I was watching the episode, I had quite a few moments where I went, oh, because there was, Rick was saying things like, oh, there's infinite dimensions with infinite possibilities, but then he would also say in the same breath, there's only so many times we can start afresh in another dimension.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but why? Because if there's infinite dimensions, you can do this an infinite number of times. Every day for the rest of your life, you can kill a simultaneous version of you and take their place. But no. On the central finite curve, there's only so many places for Rick and Morty to do X or Y. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that was I hadn't even thought of that. So I guess that does make sense. But there must be some universes where Rick doesn't even exist in the central finite curve. Like, I don't know.
No, you're right. It's such a world-breaking thing that it's impossible to know where they could possibly go from here.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
The sort of nihilism that Rick, or the absurdism, I suppose, that Rick and Morty shows, is the kind of thing where you're saying, well, nothing matters, therefore I am choosing to care about my grandson. I am choosing to care about Beth. I'm choosing to care about Morty. And those are the things that matter to me. And that's what I quite like about Rick's character development, is he's sort of like, oh, I've chosen to care about Bird Person, and I've chosen to care about this war that we were fighting in, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I like that he's chosen this life for himself. Even in spite of the fact he sort of struggles with the fact that there's infinite versions of him doing very similar or very dissimilar things, I like the idea that he's chosen to care for the people he cares about.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're getting with Rick, because I think it feels almost as though they're afraid to follow that to its logical conclusion, which is
definitely.
Rick cares about Morty and he cares about Beth, so he's going to just safeguard them in their universe. He's going to, I don't know, what's that thing from Doctor Who? The Time Lords sealed off the barriers between worlds or whatever.
The void or whatever.
That's it, yeah. So maybe Rick will call the Time Lords and get them to do that in his universe, so they're all safeguarded and they can live and be happy.
I mean,
at the end of the day, all the Ricks know that simple Rick. Remember Simple Rick from the Citadel episode? That's the life that's happy, and they want happiness, but they're deliberately denying it for themselves. It feels as though the show writers or the scripts or whatever, they just don't want to follow it to the conclusion. They want to get these 70 episodes out of it.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure what comes next. Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
No, definitely. Come home to the unique flavor of shattering the grand illusion. Come home to Simple Rick.
Well, was that Sam Elliott?
I don't know if it was Sam Elliott. I
love Sam Elliott.
He's very good.
Working on becoming a freaking vegan. What in the name of God is a freaking vegan? Well, I only eat vegetables that other people throw out.
What is on your foot, sir?
I do not like Ron. God, Parks and Rec is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's Here's my thinking with Parks and Rec. It is one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, but my trouble with it is that it's just not real. the characters are sort of caricatures of people that you know, and I think that's why, like, the US Office and Brooklyn Nine-Nine and The Good Place, that's why they stand out, is because I feel like I've met these people. I feel like I've met 100 Jims in my lifetime. I've met 100 Pams. Do you know what I mean? I know these people.
Yeah, definitely.
And Dwight or Creed, who are the most extreme versions of people in those shows, I feel like we all know somebody who's a bit intense like Dwight. We all know somebody who's a bit insane like Creed. I feel like we understand that, and that's not what you get with Parks and Rec, which is a bit of a weird one.
Yeah, true. I met you in the parking lot earlier. That's how I know you.
What's that from?
That's from The Office. They're doing the they're doing the what do you call it? The health and safety thing with the window shop dummy to sort of bring it back to life. And they're having a conversation, and Creed just out of nowhere points to the instructor and goes, "I met you in the parking lot earlier. That's how I know you." And then it just goes silent. And everyone's like, okay. Wait, what are we talking about? Oh yeah, this is Doctor Who, The Timeless Child done right, Lewis.
Ah, okay.
You can't change my mind on that. You know, we've got a very smart, seemingly immortal character that built the society that we thought they didn't build, and they're the center of the universe. The only difference is that Rick and Morty have always sort of said that Rick is the smartest man in the universe, whereas Doctor Who was just about an alien travelling through time and space, you know. And another thing, every fucking franchise now, just dawned on me, are doing multiverse shit.
Yep. Marvel,
every
DC,
single one.
Everybody.
Yeah. And it's so boring now. I'm over it. I get it. It's amazing. I mean, I'll see Far From Home when Alfred Molina and Willem Dafoe show up, and maybe Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. That'll be fun. But it's getting me on a joke, man. Do you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. I do struggle to I struggle to care about multiverses now that they're so sort of everywhere. Like I don't know. I feel like maybe I need to have a binge of things that aren't very good. Like I need to watch the 10 worst films of all time or something, so that then I can stop saying, "Oh, this is slightly better because they made this tiny difference to the way they introduced this character." Okay, but it's still all the same story. I don't know. That's what separates things like John Wick for me. Is that I don't know. It makes no effort to be this ever-present film that everything is around the world. It's everybody's doing the same thing because it's all about chasing this multiverse of characters and stuff. I'm not sure. You know?
No, definitely. I do think it's becoming harder to care about multiversal stuff because it's just like, well, does that mean that nothing matters now? Like, I mean, if not. I get how nothing matters is a good sort of thing to explore in a particular character, but if your entire show's ethos is nothing matters, then what's the fucking point?
Yeah, 100%.
But I don't know. I hope that they do some character development with Rick and Morty going forward. I hope that they explore bigger threats than just other versions of Rick and Morty. You know, I want some Lovecraft Cthulhu shit. You know, that would be really cool. Do you think we'll see Evil Morty again?
I'd like to say yes, but I think if we do, it'll be so far away that I will have forgotten about him.
Yeah.
My memory is fairly terrible anyway, but I think it'll be so far away that I've both forgotten about him and I've forgotten that I'm supposed to care. So I'm not optimistic about the future of Evil Morty as a character, really.
Yeah. I really like Evil Morty's motivation. He's motivated very well. I think his character's well thought out. It's just I want to get away from this toxic person who's built this system that I have to live in, you know. And they talk about capitalism quite a bit in the episode. They say capitalism twice, and then the ending of the episode is this an unfair, unethical system being destroyed, and the world being irrevocably changed because of it.
Yeah.
And I like the idea that because evil Morty has still got callousness in him, he wouldn't want to fix the system. He would just want to destroy it and then leave. It's kind of like the argument about Thanos. People were like, well, why wouldn't he just make more food, for the universe? Yeah. And I think it was Josh Brolin who said because he's callous as well as, his worldview is in some way a way of dealing with the trauma that he experienced with his planet. So he's also, got a very sort of malicious streak in him, and quite unforgiving. So yeah, I do like that, and it's better than. Well, is it better than the original Morty being evil Morty? I don't know, but
yeah, I don't really know either.
Yeah, I don't know what one I would have liked better. Probably the one that I said, because I would have been like, haha, see, hire me as a writer and I'll fix all your problems.
I'm not sure about you, Cocker, but I think I'm out of notes.
Yeah, I believe so as well. Do you have a closing statement?
I do. A good episode that was perhaps executed poorly. I have no idea where the universe will go from here on out, but I'm interested to find out, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. 50 episodes to go, I think. I think it's 50. So, Rick and Morty, 100 years. Well, 5 years. 5 years.
Well, I suppose we'll probably get lots of little breaks in between. So, yeah, Rick and Morty, 20 years.
Yeah, 17 years minus 2. But there we go.
Yes.
Well, that was Rick and Morty, folks. So should we do some capitalist shilling? Yeah. We all have Linktrees.
Right.
Lewis's is linktr.ee/Lewis_Brindley. Mine's is /O'Hiram. And the podcast is /Shouting Into the Void. There you will find our socials, our Instagram, our Twitter. No, we don't have Twitter. Our Facebook. And our YouTube. Yeah, so go have a look, give us a subscribe, give us a like, and follow us. We also have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly appreciated. We also have Patreon, and we want to take the opportunity, as we do every week, to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons. Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
Natalie.
Thank you.
And Dougie.
Thank you, one and all. You allow us to keep making this show that we love to make, and it well and truly does mean the world that you do just that. It also means the world that you allow us to make these shows, this particular Whispering Into the Void, and, well, all the other ones as well, I suppose, but it means the world that you allow us to make the Whispers, because it's nice to be able to talk at great length about a show, to be able to talk in great extreme detail about a show. Like, I think we've probably said more words about Doctor Who than anyone ever. Actually, no. There's that 5-hour video essay on YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
when we've broken 5 hours of Doctor Who content, then we will have done.
I think we already have.
Lovely. In that case, we are the world experts.
Yes, we are.
Doctor Who, and it's entirely thank you to our patrons. So yeah, thank you very much for supporting us. It really does mean the world.
Absolutely. We also have merch on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell tote bags, jumpers, stickers, mugs, socks. Go get yourself something nice, because you deserve it, you little gem. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with an amazing company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis is going to say some wonderful things about them, all of which are true.
Indeed I am. Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a wonderful company run by my wonderful wife, in which they crochet, and they're very, very good at it. So if you'd like to keep up to date with what they're doing and bless your Instagram feed with some beautiful content, you can go to @Number 12 Crochet Avenue on Instagram, and you can check out what the haps is.
Yeah.
And you can also ponder, while you're doing that, why I decided to talk like a 1950s Las Vegas gangster. What's the haps, eh?
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you always wish I can bear. See?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
I think we're definitely done now because we're doing stupid voices.
Absolutely done. So I mean, from here on out, I guess we'll go back to the old Doctor Who.
Indeed. What's the next episode of Doctor Who on our list?
42 by Chris Chibnall.
Oh, lovely. It's the Doctor eats a sun, and then his face is on fire. Lovely. We'll do that.
Burn with me. No, put sunscreen on. Yeah, so thanks so much for listening to our Rick and Morty Season 5 reviews.
Yeah.
And we shall see you, hear you, smell you, destroy an evil system that unethically keeps the workers down next time.
Indeed we will. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Bye.